to challenge you to start to look at money in a completely different way based on this concept called time cost. Because most of us haven't really spent time to conceptualize money versus the time it requires to attain that money. And I think once you do, you start to value money a little bit better. You start to see money in a different light. So I want to show you in this training the true cost, the real cost of buying an item. Effectively, it's the real time you are trading or swapping to buy any item. So the real question you've got to ask yourself going forward is, how much of my life, how much of my time am I trading, swapping, giving to buying an item? And hopefully that will slow you down and stop you from overspending, on being frivolous, on being reckless with your money. Most people will say, oh, look, I like this item, I want to buy it. But a wise and savvy future thinking person analyzes things based on time cost. Let me try and break this down. So everything that you buy, every item that we buy, technically represents hours of our lives that we would never get back. You can't get your time back. But when your money is tied to time for 99% of the population, if you can't get your time back and it costs you money to buy that time, then how does it make sense to spend money recklessly, because you are spending time and life recklessly? I want you to look at it from that point of view. So everything that you buy, every purchase that you buy, represents some form of hours that you're never going to get back. That's what I want you to really understand from today's training video. So forget your, let's say, your salary or your income on paper. What really matters the most is how much you take home after taxes. So what I want to help you do here is to calculate what your real hourly worth is. What is your real hourly worth? So how I do this is really simple. I would take this, so let's just call it HR, so your hourly rate. In fact, let's put it here, let's do real hourly rate, okay, equals your take home pay. Let's call it take home pay. A number of you have complained about my writing on here. And then your total hours, so I'll do less writing and maybe more abbreviation. So total hours that you work. So this is the hours that you are contracted to work. So let's say the average salary in the UK is £30,000 per year. Your take home is around 2,400 every single month. And you give 40 hours, 50 hours per week. Then effectively, over a month, if we do this calculation, your real hourly wage, in fact, let me put it this way that might maybe stick with you a bit better, is you earn £12 per hour of life. See, you're thinking that you're earning £12 per hour, but it's actually £12 per hour of your life. That's effectively what, on paper, based on what you're currently earning, your life is worth. And I know some people might take a little bit of offense to this, but this is important. Your time cost is your time life cost. Let's put it here actually. Your time life cost is £12 per hour. Now we have to look at what that translates into your time. So if you wanted to buy, let's call it a £600 item. Now remember, the purpose of this video is not to say to you, don't enjoy your life, don't spend on yourself. It's just to say, be mindful of what you are spending, because you are spending life, you are spending time, which you can't also get back. So let's say you wanted to buy a £600 item and you technically are on £12 per hour. It means you are spending 50 hours of your life, 50 hours of your life. That's one whole working week gone to buy this item right here. Again, I'm not saying don't spend, I'm not saying don't enjoy your money, but I'm saying you need to understand, because this will hold you accountable. So next time you say, oh, I fancy that bag because I deserve it, or I fancy those pair of trainers because I think it's cool, you have to be able to calculate how much of your life, how much of your time it's cost you to buy this item, and therefore, is it actually worth it? The flip side that I want you to consider, and I'm not saying you must invest everything, but if you're serious about growth and generational wealth and wealth in general, you have to start holding yourself somewhat accountable to understand what you are doing with your money and what your money is doing with you, actually. So by comparison, if we look at the future cost, aka you didn't buy that item, if you had invested that same cost of item, let's call it £600, in, I'm just going to make up a figure, let's say 8%, something that makes 8%, the stock market, property, whatever, over a 10-year period, that would have yielded around 1,200. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is this. So the phone, the item, the £600 purse or bag or shoe or trainers that you wanted to buy didn't just cost you money. It also cost you your time, aka your life, but more importantly, it cost you future wealth. So every pound, and I want you to start to see money like this, and it's quite dark, but it will help you be a bit more conscious with what you spend. So every pound that you spend should be seen as a piece of your life, aka a part of your time that you're never going to get back. Next time you want to buy something, you really should sit down before you buy the item and do a calculation and say, this is how much I earn per hour. This is how much this item will cost me. I'm going to divide it to see how much of my time life cost this is costing me. When you start to see money as time or life, you will make better financial decisions. You will be less flippant with money. You'll be less frivolous with money, and you will start to see an opportunity to make your money more money, because if you're spending life, then the opposite of spending life is to buy more life. You buy more time when you make investments. I hope you get some value from this. I know it's a little bit darker than what I usually teach, but let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section on YouTube. I'll catch you guys soon.